Hey, everybody. Happy Monday. I hope you've had a great day. Thank you for joining me tonight for the fast track class, Simple Food Combining. If you are on Facebook, please take a second just to say hello to me. Give a few hearts, a few thumbs up, just to let me know that you are there and that you support what Shibboleth is all about. Hey, Dana, glad you're here. If you are in the Zoom room, just like Donna did, please say hello. You're welcome, Donna. I'm happy to do these meetings. I'm very happy to do these meetings. And Becky, hey, Becky, glad that you're here. Now, if y'all will do me a favor, those of you who are in the Zoom room, just like Donna and Becky are chatting, they found their chat button. But I would like for y'all to click where it says all panelists. Click there. Then you will see an option for all panelists and attendees. Click there. And that way, when you type, everybody gets to see what you type. And I like that because it doesn't look like I'm answering random questions. Sometimes I'll look over and I'll just answer the question and keep going. And if everybody has seen what you type, they know what the question was. So if y'all set your chat to all panelists and attendees, please take a second to let me know if you were here last night or not. That's very helpful for me to know if you were here last night. All right. Okay, Heather, you were here last night. I see your hand raised here. We got Becky and Brenda. Hey, Brenda, thank you for letting me know that you weren't able to come tonight, but we did miss you. Hey, Donna and the other Donna and Julia, Lori, Rachel. Hey, Rachel, glad you're back again tonight. And Sandra, awesome. Yep, Rachel was here last night. Julia, yes. Rachel from Cartersville. I'll be driving to pick up my son while listening. Yes. Awesome. New, trying to figure it all out. Day one of Shibboleth. Awesome. Fabulous. Fabulous. Y'all are going to do great. You're in the right place. Okay, Donna from Chattanooga, Julia from Ridgefield, Washington. Awesome. Now, Washington is a long way away from our home office here in Georgia. How did you hear about Shibboleth? I always love to hear how the stories are that it gets around. One night, there was a man from California in this class here. And I said, how'd you learn about Shibboleth? And he said he learned about Shibboleth when he was in Israel. And I went, okay, how'd that happen? A lady who is a Shibboleth member was in Israel, and she told him, and she was from Michigan, and she told him about it. He's from California. He went and signed up, and then he lost weight too. Hey, Heather, that's okay that you missed last night. Tonight lives in Georgia and wanted somebody. Awesome. Julia, well, thank you for joining your friend and doing this with her. That's awesome. Great support. And let's see, Heather, okay, if anybody is here who missed last night, please know that you can do tonight's class. Okay, it's okay that you missed last night, but I need you to go back and watch last night too, because last night's webinar was the lifestyle overview, okay? And you need the overview. And then what we're doing tonight is we are honing in on simple food combining. Yep, Heather, I'll show you right now how to watch it. And if y'all that have just joined in, please do me a favor. If you're in the Zoom room, click where it says chat, but then you'll see the option where it says to, and it says all panelists. check that, click that, and then choose the option for all panelists and attendees, okay? All right, so I'm going to share my screen real quick, and I am going to, first of all, show Heather and other people who might not have been able to watch last night where to find the webinar from last night. You're going to click on Dashboard. After you click on Dashboard, if you are brand new, your Fast Track should be pulling up for you automatically. If it is not, if it's pulling up to this instructors page, that's okay. This is where Fast Track is. So you simply click Fast Track. Now, what I really need y'all to do is I need y'all to work through lap 1 and lap 2 kind of on your own, because I don't spend nights going over those 2 laps. But I do spend nights going over everything in lap 3 through 7. But lap 1 and 2, you kind of have to do on your own, okay? It's really just joining some Facebook groups, printing some documents, doing some crossing of the I's, dotting the I's and crossing the T's in lap 2. But Heather, when you get here, if you go into lap 2, right here where it says watch the daily Fast Track webinars, there are 7, or participate live nightly. It says that's what we prefer. Then you can watch right there. So when you click right there, hey Eloise, glad you're here, Tallahassee, Florida. When you click right here, there will be last night's webinar. And I used a PowerPoint last night. If you click on that video, right underneath the video, see where it says materials? It will give you the PowerPoint that I used last night. It's not a bad idea to go ahead and pull up that PowerPoint, because that is the lifestyle. Hey, Teresa, glad you're back. That is the lifestyle, okay? That is just the overview, everything that you need to do. And I like all it when people type and everything. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and use another website tonight. The website that I use tonight is actually this one right here, Simple Food Combining website link. Okay, so we're going to use this tonight. And what I'm going to do is I am going to read the cooking oils one time, go over those. It's really a rehash from last night, but you cannot hear this stuff in the beginning enough. You really can't to completely understand why we do what we do. And then I'm going to go over condiments. We didn't even go over condiments last night because I don't have time. And so we're going to go over condiments tonight. Then every time I come to a new category, I'm going to read the list. If you made a list last night, you can add foods to your list that you like. But if you are here for the first time tonight, and if you have a piece of paper, write category 1 through 7 at the top. And then when you hear foods that you like that go in those categories, please start writing them down. Things that you would eat that go in those categories. It's really important to build your favorites lists, okay? All right, so the cooking oils / fats that we use in Shibboleth are 100% MCT oil, coconut oil, ghee butter, or 0-calorie cooking spray. So those are the ones that we use. You wouldn't want to use more than a tablespoon per serving of these things, okay? Now, this 100% MCT oil, MCT stands for medium chain triglyceride. It has almost no propensity to be stored on the body as fat. Amen. Hallelujah. Okay, but the oils that we were typically using before Shibboleth were canola oil, vegetable oil, olive oil. Those actually have a great propensity to be stored on the body as fat. I don't want that. So since I started Shibboleth over 2 years ago, I've actually not bought any of those other oils because MCT oil serves the purpose that I want. And so that's what I use. So 100% MCT oil. It burns quickly. You want to make sure that you cook on low to medium heat. Now, I had a question via Messenger tonight. Where do you buy MCT oil? Well, I personally buy the Zero Drag brand from the Shibboleth store. That's where I buy it. But I have seen people purchase it in the pharmacy department of Publix. I've seen them go to our food library and buy the Now brand from Amazon. I've seen them buy the Now brand in Vitamin Shop. There's other places around town, but personally, I've never looked for it any other store because I just buy it from the Shibboleth store and I'm done with it. But you can get it at other places. Now, coconut oil is also an oil that you can use, but keep in mind it's 66% MCTs, all right? And then we got ghee butter, which is just butter that's been clarified, it's 40% MCTs. Now, I have a decision. I mean, I make a plan about how I'm going to use my MCT oil. When I am cooking a lean protein, I use MCT oil. When I am cooking a protein plus fat, I use 0-calorie cooking spray. So I'm just going to use eggs for a quick and easy example. Let's say I was making an egg white spinach omelet. I would use a little bit of drizzle. I would not use a full tablespoon. You won't need it. I would use a little drizzle of MCT oil there. But if I'm making a whole egg spinach omelet, I'm going to use 0-calorie cooking spray because I've already got fat in my whole eggs and I don't need to add additional fats to that. MCT oil has great and wonderful properties. It has muscle preserving effect and it has a metabolism building effect. These are great things, but we only use MCT oil in Shibboleth for 3 reasons. That's all, 3 reasons. Cooking, as a swap in a recipe, which is still cooking, I just like to split them apart, and making approved salad dressings. You do not need to take it as a supplement. We do not add it to coffee. We don't add it to shakes or randomly take it for no reason. It is literally used for cooking recipes or making approved salad dressings. That's it. Okay, condiments. Condiments are very useful, very, very useful because you can take a piece of chicken breast and you can make it taste barbecue. You can make it taste Italian. You can make it taste Mexican just with the condiments that you use. So condiments, though, have thousands of calories in them. So we want to make sure that we use condiments in an appropriate way and purchase the right condiments. So we have a rule about condiments because there are so many condiments that can be used that they're not all in the food library. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. So look, I got my water bottle says Shibboleth on it. I love that. But the condiments, there's so many things that can be used as condiments. They're not always going to be able to be found in the food library. So that when you look foods up in the food library, if you don't find it, we want to give you a rule about it so that you can know whether or not you can make a decision about whether or not you can use it. So we call it the 5, 2, and few rule. 5, 2, and few. This is a sprinkling, okay? 5, 2, and few. Now, what that means is you want to look at the sugar content and the fat content. You don't want the sugar content to have more than 5 grams of sugar per serving, and you don't want the fat content to be more than 2 grams of fat per serving. So, and then you don't want to use more than 50 calories of condiments on a combined meal. You don't really need to add condiments to meal replacements. They all have everything they need in them. You don't really need condiments on meal replacements. It's really just for combined meals. You can use any 0-calorie condiment. You can use 15-calorie or less spices and seasonings, salt and pepper, salsa, reduced sugar ketchup, mustard, hot sauce, Kraft fat-free mayo, and more. Please know that all these little lists that we start you off with in the new member documents and this little list here, these are tiny lists. I mean, there's thousands and thousands of foods in the food library, but you just need a few to get started, right? So I'm going to give you a practical example of picking out a condiment. I normally purchase the Classico traditional pizza sauce as what I use for making my pizza sandwiches, and all kinds of things. And I normally buy it at Kroger. Well, I went into Publix because I wanted to pick up some Cabot extra light cheese, of which Kroger does not sell. So I went into Publix to pick up that cheese, and I thought, oh, I need to get the pizza sauce. So I beelined it back there to the pizza sauce area, and guess what? They did not have Classico traditional pizza sauce, which is what I just usually pick up and go. But they had 6 pizza sauces on the shelf. Well, rather than pull out my phone and go into the food library and physically type in every name, I thought, whoa, that's going to take up way too much time. So, what's the rule? The 5 and 2 rule. That's what you want to look at. So, I turned all 6 jars around on the shelf so that I could analyze them. I started scanning the sugar content. If it had more than 5 grams of sugar, I turned it around. It's out of the running. I don't even need to look at the fat content. It doesn't matter. It's out of the running. Well, after I turned those around, I then scanned the fat content. If it had more than 2 grams of fat, I turned it around. It's eliminated. I was left with 2 choices out of the 6, and I made a choice and bought one. That's how you utilize that rule while you're in the grocery store without even having to pull out your food library and look it up. Because believe me, not everything that can be used as a condiment would be in the food library, because there's thousands of things that can be used as condiments. And then you just don't want to have more than 50 calories worth of condiments on a meal. Let's say that you make yourself a 96% lean ground beef hamburger patty and you want cheese and mustard and ketchup. Well, that's 3 condiments, right? But it would still work because your y'all excuse me real quick. What's that? Because your cheese would be approved, and it's about 30 calories. I use the Borden fat-free cheese, so it's 30 calories. Well, mustard typically is 0 calorie. I have seen some that were 5. But then I would know I have 20 more calories to use. Well, maybe I use 20 calories of ketchup. I've got 3 condiments on my hamburger patty, okay? Um, So I hope that makes sense about condiments. Now let's read over some things that go in category 1, lean protein. And we got 2 to 8 ounces listed right there, because if you are looking to have an amount that you could measure or something like that, 2 to 8 ounces. And really, ladies, it's 2 to 6 for us and 2 to 8 for men. And but honestly, y'all, I never even weighed or measured any of it. I just put it underneath my hand, and if it fit and it wasn't any thicker than my hand, I ate it. So I'm not your measuring type of person. I have measured a few things out of curiosity just for fun of it, but on a normal basis, I'm not your measuring type of girl. Okay, we got egg whites, fish. All fish is here. All the other critters that live in water that aren't fish, whether or not they have a shellfish, go in the category 7 shellfish. Okay, fish, chicken breast, turkey breast, pork tenderloin, boar's head turkey, boar's head chicken breast, boar's head London broil, low-fat cottage cheese, fat-free cottage cheese, Greek plain yogurt, Hebrew National 97% lean beef frank, and 96% lean ground meat. Y'all, I am so thirsty tonight. Please excuse me. So when it says 96% lean ground meat, that means beef, chicken, turkey. It's that ground meat, processed ground meat that we use for, spaghetti sauce and taco meat and stuff like that, hamburger meat and more. When you look up there, low fat and fat free cottage cheese are right here, but full fat cottage cheese is actually approved. It's just a category 4 protein plus fat. And the reason that says boar's head is because we know that boar's head is very, very lean, and we're just trying to give you quick and easy, go to the store, buy some things, get started. But there's actually a lot of approved deli meat in the food library. Pork tenderloin is approved. Most pork products are a category 4 protein plus fat. typically a Canadian bacon pork product is a category 1, but pork tenderloin is a category 1, but I do want to make a suggestion. If you see any visible fat on it, go ahead and trim that off, because we do use these lean proteins to keep us safe when we're eating them with an insulin producing carb, and we don't want it to capture the fat. So if you do see some fat on that pork tenderloin, go ahead and trim that off, okay? All right, so what this row is simply saying is that you can eat chicken breast by itself. You don't even have to combine it. Now, those of you that were with me last night, who can type in and tell me which 5 of the 7 can be eaten alone? Which 5 categories of the 7 can be eaten alone? You don't even have to combine them. But category 1 does not have to be combined. You can cook it up in the right oil, doctor it up with the right condiments, and you would have an excellent fat burning meal. Now, keep in mind, just because you're eating it by itself doesn't mean you're going to put it underneath both hands. That's just a protein source. You're going to eat it under this one hand, okay? All right, so hopefully somebody will type that in. Okay, we got lean protein and fibrous carb for sure. That's 2 of the 5. We got that listed. And Katinka says 1, 2. You're almost right, Katinka. Maybe your finger hit the wrong one, typing one of those. And Becky's almost right. And yes, Morgan. Yeah. Katinka says that's why I'm in a class for a refresher. I gotcha. Awesome, Julia. Awesome. Yep. Cool. Good. Okay. So that's right. You can have lean protein, fibrous carbs, protein plus fat, superfoods, and shellfish. Like Rita and Teresa also said, you can put those, you can eat them by themselves. So that's what this is showing. You could eat this by itself. Now, it's awesome to know what you can do in all different situations, because you know what? Not every eating situation that we come across in life is going to be optimum. Maybe we hadn't been to the grocery store. We've just got some chicken in the fridge and we don't want to go to the grocery store. We'll just eat some chicken. So there's just different times where we are able to learn what to do and be able to make the best decision. Okay, we have a brand new category. Category 2, fibrous carb. Now, when I read these out, please write them down in your list if you like some of them. Okay, half a cup up to 1 cup. In weight loss mode, half a cup is best. All right, half a cup is best in weight loss mode. Still though, no matter what size, it's got to fit underneath this hand. So like your protein plus fat would go here, your fibrous carb would go here. I've never measured it. Hey, Renita, we're glad you're here from Mississippi. Okay, broccoli, asparagus, squash, okra, green leafy vegetables, spinach, cabbage, cucumbers, bell peppers, hot peppers, cauliflower, kraut, dill pickles, green beans. Okay, so those are some category 2 fibrous carb. Now, there's a hallelujah moment coming. We have over 60 approved bread or bread type items in this category. We just don't have them listed right here. We'll talk about them in a little bit later. But we do not exclude any macronutrients. We just teach you how to use them to your benefit. Any lifestyle or diet per se that is going to exclude any macronutrients for long periods of time is not sustainable. Most people aren't willing to keep up with that. And you've got to find something that you can sustain. Okay, so category 1 and category 2 eaten together is combination. This is combining food. You have just put 2 things together that go well together for your body, for weight loss, for health. You've just combined food. That's combinations, okay? Now, the combinations that we use can get more elaborate and even more important to do right. We're going to go over that in just a second, but that's the basics of combining. You're eating something. Y'all give me some thumbs up if you see something in category 1 here that you'd eat with something from category 2. Y'all let me know if y'all see something that you would combine. Something from one list. Now, Rachel may not see anything, because she's a vegetarian. So she would just have to find herself a lean protein that she would eat. Okay. And hopefully she did that. But that's what food combining is. Figure there's something from this category eaten with something from this category. Awesome. Rita says chicken breast and broccoli. Thank you for that thumbs up, Morgan. Yes. So chicken breast and broccoli, exercise on a plate. Exercise on a plate. Now, if you wanted to make that meal be the fastest fat burning meal, which oil would you use? Great, Heather. Heather, chicken breast and green beans. That's right, Rita. MCT oil. Thank you, Morgan, too. MCT. That would make that meal be the fastest fat burning combination. A 1 plus a 2. Now, keep in mind, if you picked low fat cottage cheese and you were going to put some hemp flakes on it, that's not the kind of meal that you're going to use MCT oil with. MCT oil is used with something like fish, chicken breast, turkey breast, pork tenderloin. You know what I mean? It's something that you're going to cook, not something that you wouldn't really pour that in. That would be weird because it only really goes with things that you're going to be cooking, right? Okay, so then we can put a 1 with a 2, cook it up in the right oil, doctor it up with the right condiments, and have an excellent fat burning meal. And Donna says chicken breast and cauliflower rice. That's right. Okay, category 7 shellfish. Now, y'all tell me, category 7 shellfish is really just a what? That's right, Rita. It's really just a lean protein, okay? So 2 to 8 ounces, just like the lean protein was 2 to 8 ounces. This one's 2 to 8 ounces. 2 to 6 for ladies is best. 2 to 8 for men. That's fine. Crab, not imitation. The reason I say that is because a lot of times the imitation part gives you some fillers that could bring a little bit more of an insulin release. So we'd have to be careful with that. But crab, lobster, shrimp, scallops, oysters, mussels, clams. Whether or not the critter has a shell, if it's not fish, it goes right here. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, Heather, I don't eat it. I don't eat it either. Heather says, is it okay if we don't eat shellfish? I don't like any. I don't eat any either, Heather. Nope. And in fact, Heather, the reason that category 7 shellfish got pulled away from category 1, they're both lean proteins. Some people don't want to eat it due to medical reasons and biblical reasons, or just don't want to eat it, period. So it's just in its own little category. So you get to mark all category 7s off of your lists. You don't even have to worry about them. And that is what's so awesome about Shibboleth is we don't make anybody eat anything they don't like. If you hear me say something you don't like, you mark it off your list. Amen. Okay, category 7, cooked up in the right oil. Now, this is oftentimes when people use ghee butter, crab legs dipped in ghee butter, lobster tail dipped in ghee butter, shrimp scampi. Okay, so this is a good thing. Ghee butter goes with that. Doctor it up with the right condiments, and you have an excellent fat burning meal. Now, remember though, it's not going to fit underneath 2 hands. It's just going to go under the 1 hand. All right. So we're going to scroll down again. And this one is simply eating something from category 7, if you like to eat category 7s, with something for category 2. Donna is asking, how long does ghee stay good? A good long while, and you do not have to put it in the refrigerator. In fact, I made a video one day of me making some food, and I read, okay, I had never bought ghee butter before, and I bought it. So when I read the jar, it said refrigerate after opening. So guess what I did? Refrigerated after opening. Well, I thought it was going to be like butter, a nice little soft butter because it looks so soft. When I went to get that out, it was hard as a rock. And everybody that was watching that video live, they started typing in, you don't have to refrigerate ghee butter. No need to refrigerate. No need to refrigerate. So I just keep it in a cool, darker place, and it lasts a very long time. Any recommendations on a food scale? Yeah, I am not I am not self helping myself, but I sell Pampered Chef. The Pampered Chef digital scale is my favorite. It is awesome and wonderful. It is so easy to use. So I am going to stick my link in here just because somebody asked. I don't normally do this. but I'm going to put it in there because it's my favorite. This digital scale is amazing. See how they have the bowl on it? You hit the tare button and it'll zero it out, and then it'll measure just what's in the bowl. That's my favorite. Okay, I just put it in there, Donna. You can click on that. You can click on that and or copy and paste it. But I love that scale. Okay. Ghee butter can be purchased at Walmart. It can be purchased at Kmart. I've never looked for it at Walmart. I bought mine at the Shibboleth store. But you can buy them just about anywhere. When you're buying ghee butter, don't buy any ghee butter that says it's plant-based, okay? Because that's not real ghee butter. I don't know how they came up with that, because butter doesn't come from plants. Okay, so most of it doesn't say that, but that's not the type ghee butter that you're looking for. Okay. Let's see. Rita says, is it on the shelf or cooler section? I've never bought it before. I think on the shelf. It's not in the cooler section. It'd be on the shelf in one of the inner aisles. I'm not sure which one. Julia's saying shelf. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Katinka says both. Okay. What you might want to do is, I don't know what kind of grocery store where you shop, but I have the Kroger app on my phone. So when I can't find something, I will go to where is it located in this store. And let's see, Janet says on the shelf above oils, usually top shelf. Rita says Walmart, Publix, Aldi. At Walmart, you can find it on the dairy aisle and also the shelf with oils. And Deb says near the 0 calorie. I love this. I love Shibboleth. Look at all this help right here. Near 0 calorie cooking spray. Okay, so what this combination is saying is you can put shellfish with a fibrous carb, cook it up in the right oil. Now, again, if you use the MCT oil, you're making it be the fastest fat burning combination, because really, shellfish is just a lean protein. All right. And then you can doctor it up with the right condiments and have an excellent fat burning meal. Okay, we have come to a brand new category. Category 4, protein plus fat. Now, awesome, Rita. I'm glad you're here. First online session, started reading last night, learning so much already. It is amazing. These are such important topics and things that we're learning. Now we just apply them and they will work. Category 4, protein plus fat. Now you'll notice that it says 2 to 6 ounces, not 2 to 8 ounces. I want to explain why. In 1 gram of protein, there's 4 calories. But in 1 gram of fat, there's 9 calories. Okay. So you don't need as much of this to get the same amount of calories as with a lean protein. So 2 to 6. Ladies, if we really wanted to be accurate, 2 to 4, men 2 to 6. But I probably do 6. Okay, whole eggs, steak, all cuts of steak, pork ribs, beef ribs, pulled pork, beef brisket, 93% lean up to 95.9% lean ground meat, turkey kielbasa, as long as no more than 50% of the calories come from fat. And Rachel would also be able to go into category 4 on the website and click on the vegan, or I mean, not in the, well, she could click the vegan too. Vegetarian, you could click that. All right, so let me talk about this. This 93% lean up to 95.9% lean is that lean ground meat. Again, it could be chicken, turkey, beef, whatever the lean ground meat is. But here's the important thing. For a perfect day, we don't use ground meat that's less than 93% lean, because if you do, they've really just taken a whole bunch of fat and added just a little bit of meat to it. It's just the way they can package and get away with the leanness on there. So if it's 93 to 95.9, we call that a protein plus fat. If it's 96 or higher, it's a lean protein. And then let's see, Rita says, I missed the beginning. Where do I find this on the website? This task, I mean, this website that I'm going over is in lap 2. You would go to fast track and then lap 2, and it's called Simple Food Combining Website Link. Okay, so right here, now remember, you can eat category 4 by itself. So if you wanted to just make yourself some scrambled eggs one morning and eat that, that's fine. You can do that. You do not have to combine it with a category 2. But it's important to know which category 2s that you like, because remember, all meat at a restaurant is a category 4, and you're going to want to know what's the best vegetable to order with that, all right? Now, category 4 plus category 2 with the right condiments makes a great fat burning meal. And you'll notice that I changed my word from excellent fat burning. Oh, and eggs, Donna, 2 eggs is the most you'd really want to do for ladies, and 3 men could do 3. Okay. And Teresa says, can we have perfect day with any of the combinations or just category 1 and 2? Any. Yeah, any of the combinations creates a perfect day. Yes. And you might have a meal replacement for breakfast, a category 1 and 2 for lunch, and you might have a 4 and 2 for dinner. Yeah, any of them work. Any of them work for a perfect day. So we have our category 4 and our category 2. Awesome. Thank you, Becky. You're welcome. Now, what I want y'all to notice right here is there was a column on all of those others that we don't have anymore right here. What column was right before the condiments on all those other ones I went over? That's right, Janet, the oils. The oils. Because you've already got this fat right here. You don't need to add more to it. So when I cook protein plus fat, I just use 0-calorie cooking spray. But I don't need more oils. And you'll also notice, do you see how this one has the flame? That means all of those are excellent for fat burning. Now, this is still great for fat burning. It's just got a few more calories in it, and it's got some fat in it. So we just say it's great for fat burning, where those other ones would be more excellent for fat burning. Okay. But these are still good to use. All right. So we're going to come down. We have another category, category 6, superfood. Now, what did I say? Superfood. What qualifies a food to be a superfood? Okay. Yep. Katinka, all macronutrients are included. So a superfood has, and it has, it's typically a whole food, Donna. But I would think that some manufactured foods could also be considered superfoods. Because we've got some AHS cereals that also count as superfoods because of the way that they've made it. But whole foods would probably be best, Donna. All right, but Katinka, all macros are included. So in these foods listed here, there's water, there's protein, there's fat, and there's carbs. So they have all 4 macronutrients in them. All right, we got pintos, black beans, red beans, soybeans, peanut butter, nuts, seeds. And peanut butter, it's really all your nut butters, nuts and seeds. Now, if you are eating this by itself, those beans, you've got a cup to 1.5 cups, and you can eat it by itself. Now, you'll notice too, the oils aren't there because you don't really need to add oils to that. It's already got some fat in it. And that peanut butter, it says 2 tablespoons would be your serving for a meal. If you wanted to eat peanut butter just by itself, it's 2 tablespoons. And there you go. You have had a meal. And that'd be simple meal. But sometimes people are looking for simple. And then we have nuts and seeds. And then you can add the right condiments to them, and you have an excellent fat burning meal. If you are eating those pintos, black beans, red beans, soybeans by yourself, you can go up to that amount. But if you are eating superfood combined with, let's say, a lean protein and a fibrous carb, you wouldn't eat a cup to 1.5 cups of it. You're going to be more like at a 1/4 cup of it, because all of that won't fit underneath your hands. Okay. So now let's scroll down a little bit more. Now, this is showing you that you can put category 6 superfood with category 2 fibrous carb. Travis says this is where you get your beans and greens. But I want to tell you, this is where you find a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Nut butter. Now, we don't have them listed here, but we have over 60 approved breads. So you get the approved bread and then you get jelly for a condiment. And you would use sugar-free jelly. There's also a Smucker's low sugar, and there is the one I would choose to use probably is the stevia sweetened good jam. And you got peanut butter and jelly. Nikki Kyle is one of our members, and she has lost 93 pounds. She eats peanut butter and jelly every single day. She did before Shibboleth, but it was a fat storing meal. Now she eats peanut butter and jelly as a fat burning meal. And of course, she changed some other habits and things, but her peanut butter and jelly sandwich that she made every day for lunch didn't change. And she's lost 93 pounds. Let's see, Janet, should you not eat the peanut butter and jelly during weight loss? Oh, no, you can. You can. Many people do. Okay, Teresa, where do I find the apportion amount allowed for each? In the food library. In the food library, it'll tell you exactly. Yes, Heather, it is awesome. And Morgan, can you share the link to this? I can't seem to find it. Yeah, let me. And Julia, what about almond butter instead of peanut butter? Any nut butter works fine. And you want to make sure it's approved. You don't want anything to have any hydrogenated vegetable oil in it. Okay, so let's see, Julia, I'm clicking right here on dashboard. And then Donna, how many categories part meal max? What are the limits? You might have to rephrase that for me. Okay, so Julia, I'm clicking right here. I'm going into lap 2. Can you find the laps? Because dashboard fast track. In lap 2, right here where it says simple food combining website link, that's what I'm using tonight. I just put it right there, but it's in lap 2 as well for everybody to see. And y'all can save that and you can come back to this at any time. And I really want y'all to be working through these laps. A lot of people they'll tell me this, oh, I've watched the 14 videos and I've passed the test. And I'm like, good job. But now you need to methodically work through every lap in every step in every lap of fast track. And these things don't take you a long time to do, but it will help you get your account set up properly and really make it work for you. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, but now Donna, let me come back to this question. Donna, how many categories per meal? Okay, so what you want to do, Donna, is use the combination chart. So if we use this combination chart, so we've gone over some meals and everything. Yes, Katinka is saying, and y'all, it is so important, all in caps, to go through the laps. Very important. Let me just tell you, I see a lot of questions asked in our groups, and I can completely identify that the people did not go through the laps. Because if they had gone through the laps, they would have already had the question answered. So the stevia jelly is, most people just purchase it online, but Publix is getting it. And I think maybe Sprouts or Whole Foods will sell it. But if you go to look up good jam and find their store locator. But I did see the Publix was going to start carrying it. Okay, so do you see right here, Donna? See where that says category 1 lean protein with a category 2 fibrous carb and a category 2 fibrous, I mean superfood with a category 2 fibrous carb. You're probably going to have, let's just say, a 96% lean ground meat hamburger. You're probably going to have some superfood at probably a quarter of a cup. It's probably going to end up with, a quarter to half a cup of fibrous carb because that's all that's going to fit underneath your hand. So you're probably just going to do one of each one there. But let's say that you are making, let's say that you've got some chicken. Look right here. This one, let's say you've got some chicken and some shrimp. Both of these are lean proteins. you're not going to do more than what fits underneath this hand for your protein source. Okay. But you could also put what fibrous carb under here. So you actually can have 2 lean proteins there. You can actually have 2 fibrous carbs here. It's just you're going to have a smaller amount of each one. You might have more flavors on your plate, but it still all needs to fit underneath your hands. So is that kind of what you're asking, Donna? And let's see, Brenda, you mentioned a 90+ weight loss comment when discussing the peanut butter question, but my connection went out. Was that comment pertinent to utilizing peanut butter during the weight loss phase? Yes, you can use peanut butter in weight loss. That's not a problem. Yeah, I mean, now here's the thing. I personally would not want to, I don't eat bread or try not to eat bread at dinner. That's not the kind of thing at dinner. Can you eat regular peanut butter? I bought the real kind thinking that is all I could have. Peanut butter, as long as it does not have hydrogenated vegetable oil in it, it should be fine. What I would like to do, Heather, is I would look that up in the food library just to make sure. Yeah, Donna, it just needs to fit underneath your hands. Now, as you've heard me be talking about this is kind of like your lean protein hand, and this would be your fibrous carb hand. Okay. And then if you are doing multiple things on a plate, this would be fibrous carb. This would be energy carb. Excuse me, this would be lean protein. This would be energy carb. This would be fibrous carb. Yeah. Oh, it needs to fit under your 2 hands together, the whole thing. Like protein, fibrous carb, energy carb. Oh, I would not incorporate it just because, Brenda. No, I would not incorporate it just to incorporate it. No. Have you heard of the All American Peanut Butter Company? I have not, but if it's just a natural peanut butter that they just took that nuts and just ground it, that's fine. You're welcome, Brenda. AmericanMayhem.com. I ordered some a while ago. I'm wondering if that's good. If it is just, yeah, Rita, I would just look it up. And if it doesn't have hydrogenated vegetable oil in it, you should be fine. I just would not eat it with anything that was not a category 2 bread or tortilla or something like that. Yes, Donna, on that chart, and look, I'm gonna actually click on a different chart because this is my favorite chart. This one is my favorite because you get more options on this chart. This is over on lap 6. I'm gonna talk about this on Friday night. But yeah, so this one shows you having a lean protein, a fibrous carb, and an energy carb. This is one meal that you can eat at breakfast, lunch, or dinner, however you want to do it. This is one meal. And so this is why it's so important for each of us to come up with our favorites lists of lean proteins, fibrous carbs, and more, because then you can make a variety. You can make a variety. Latria, freebies are in the food library underneath the heading of freebies. And I'll also go over those on Thursday night as well, but go into the food library. Now, keep in mind, Latria, that if you have not taken the test, the fast track test, the full food library is not open to you until you've taken the test. We want to make sure that you know what you're looking at when you go in there. Yes, Donna. Each line is an example of a meal, and you just pull from your favorites lists. Yep. And you don't, like, I've had people ask me, I got to eat all that one day. Oh, no. Just one line at breakfast, one line at lunch, one line at dinner. And these lines, these are sandwiches, these are wraps, these are salads, these are simple meals, these are recipes. It's just all of these combinations. But in the beginning, keep it super simple. Keep it simple. Latria, go into your mobile friendly website. Don't use the app. If you're having trouble with the app, just skip it altogether and go to myshibboleth.com, log in, and then I would be working through my fast track laps there and go to the food library through the mobile friendly website. Okay, Teresa, the phase 1 combinations category chart does not have 3. Should I not have energy carbs starting out? Great question. You can. Now, it does not have energy carbs or fruit on it. Why? Because you will have the best results. You will have the best results if you were to leave them out in your first 7 to 10 days. Okay, just because you get a jump start. Let's go. Let's get some stuff going on. But I use this combination chart from the beginning. Yes, the blowtorch will give you the most weight loss. Okay, so this blue column is fast weight loss. This one is even faster weight loss. And this one, you are blowtorching fat like you'd blowtorch butter. Now, you'll notice MCT is on every single one of those. And you can do any of these. HHF stands for hemp hearts and hemp flakes. So HH stands for hemp hearts. HF stands for hemp flakes. So it's kind of a category on its own. And so we just put it together as HHF. It is hemp hearts are a category 6 superfood, and HF, hemp flakes, are a category 1 and 2. They've got lean protein and fibrous carb in them. Now, on Thursday night, we are going to be looking through the video library, and I'm going to help y'all find my favorite video on hemp products. And so we're going to find that. Teresa, this is printable. Yes, this is printable. It is in lap 1, the new member combination chart, and this is in lap 6. So everybody needs to be methodically working their way through the fast track laps. The MCT, so you have to add MCT to line 1 to get the most results. Yeah, the MCT is kind of what gives you these supercharged results. Yeah. But if you don't have MCT or you're allergic to it or some reason you can't use it, you're okay. Just use 0-calorie cooking spray or something else. It's okay. But the MCT is what is giving you a few extra calorie burn because it burns up so fast. It has a thermogenic effect and it burns a few extra calories. Now, with that being said, we don't take it as a supplement to burn calories because that won't work. There's still 130 calories in this stuff. And then we don't put it in coffee. And we don't make bulletproof, and we don't put it in shakes and stuff either. But the MCT is what's making this be the blowtorch column. Oh, yeah, you can do that, Donna. No problem. Donna says, can she cook in her air fryer with no oil? Yes. Let's see, hold on. And yeah, Teresa, you can print these, and I would love for y'all to print these. In lap 1, there's a lot of things that I want y'all to print. Yeah, let's blowtorch those 30 pounds off, Rita. That sounds awesome. And let's say, can you take an MCT capsule to help when you're not cooking with it? No, we do not take MCT oil in any other way. It's only for cooking in recipes, and making approved salad dressings. We do not take it as a supplement. It doesn't work like that. We're only going to use it for the simple swap of cooking purposes. No, you do not need more MCT to get more effect, and do not use more than a tablespoon in a serving. Yep, you're welcome. You got great questions. That's awesome. Okay. So let's scroll down again. Now we've come to category 3, energy carb. 1/4 cup up to 1/2 cup. Now, 1/4 cup is best in weight loss mode. Really, that's all that's going to fit underneath your hands too. All potatoes are here, whether they're white potatoes or sweet potatoes, new potatoes, Yukon potato, they're all there. Oatmeal, steel cut oats, Quaker fiber and protein oatmeal, long grain brown rice, most lighter colored beans, peas, tomato, onion, carrots, whole wheat pasta, and whole grain pasta. Now, we're going to talk about pasta more tomorrow night, so I'm not going to really go over it, but we've got better options for pasta than just your general whole wheat and whole grain pasta. Carrots, once they are cooked, They are a category 3 energy carb. If you need a little palmful of baby raw carrots as a freebie, you could do that too. Now, you can also combine, uncooked carrots properly with a 1 and a 2. You can do that, but you would not eat cooked carrots as a freebie. And if they're cooked, they're an energy carb. Right, Donna. Donna, we are not supposed to eat more than 3 meals a day. You can eat up to 3 meals a day, and you want to give yourself 4 to 6 hours apart. 4 to 6 hours apart. But in last night's webinar, when I went over that, that is the one timing is the one component of the shield that if you don't get it quite right, it won't throw you off of having a perfect day. So let's just say, for example, that you eat breakfast at 8 and then you eat lunch at 11. That's only 3 hours, but you had a properly combined meal and it was properly portioned and you've gotten your water in all day and all that. That's not going to throw you out of having a perfect day. It's optimal to have up to 3 meals a day, 4 to 6 hours. But if you go over 3 meals a day, it's no longer a perfect day anymore because you've had more than your portions. That's even besides the timing part that would go into you're having more portion than you should in a day. So up to 3 meals a day, 4 to 6 hours apart, if possible. And if you have a moment of mental weakness, you can use freebie, an extra, or a snack. Okay, Rita, I've had gastric sleeve surgery, so I do need to get about 4 to 6 times a day. I can't eat more than a cup of food. Oh no, Rita, we've helped many, many, many people with the gastric sleeve surgery, and they try to do the 3 meals a day only. And if you need to, utilize a freebie because freebies actually take up space in your belly too, an extra or a snack. So Rita, what I would do is I would do no more than 3 meals a day. And if you need it, make them be smaller, but then have a freebie, an extra, or a snack. But I would try to do the 3 meals a day, Rita, and see how that'll work for you. And then consider the freebie, the extra, or the snack. But no, it will not mess you up. In fact, we help many, many, many people who've had that surgery because even though you've had that surgery, they don't teach you how to eat really. And if you're always, even after the surgery, eating the wrong types of things, even though you're eating smaller amounts, you're still collecting fat. So we don't want that to happen again. Let's see, Morgan, if you have a freebie or a snack, are you still having a perfect day? Yes. Here's the thing. If you have more than one snack in a day, it's no longer a perfect day. If you have more than one extra in a day, it's no longer a perfect day. If you have more than 3 meals in a day, it's no longer a perfect day. So up to 3 meals, and you can have one extra in a day and one snack in a day. Now, just because things are allowed doesn't mean they're expedient. Okay, they're lawful, but not necessarily expedient. Freebies can technically be eaten as often as you need to, but you got to keep in mind that we are trying to stop grazing because grazing is hurting our metabolism. It's not helping our efficient fat burning, and it's never giving our body a break to digest. Okay. Oh, yes, Donna, this is a godsend. Yes, it is. Yes. Now, Morgan, what I want you to keep in mind is that let's say that you have breakfast and then mid-morning you have a high protein hot chocolate as an extra, and then you have lunch, and then mid-afternoon you have a snack, and then after you get home from work or whatever you're doing, you have dinner, and then at night you have a couple of freebies or a freebie. That is still a perfect Shibboleth day, okay? Now, if you cut some of those little things out, those little freebies, extras, and snacks out, could you have better results quicker? Yeah, you could. But is the other, as long as you haven't gone over the portions that are allowed for each item and you haven't eaten more than all of that, then you're still having a perfect day. And that's the right thing. Okay. This might be silly, but when first exercising portion control, is it normal to be hungry really fast? Yeah, I mean, Julia, our bodies just aren't used to it. Our bodies aren't used to it, and it's going to rebel. And we have to be the one to be the boss. You be the boss lady, okay? Don't let your stomach boss you around. Don't let your mind boss you around. Don't let your taste buds boss you around. You be the boss lady, okay? And your body, you're gonna have it's changing habits. I tell people this all the time. We can figure out what to do. If somebody's not doing Shibboleth per se, it's because they don't want to. And they can lay all the excuses they want to on it if I don't understand this. It's not that hard. You have to then make yourself do it. That's harder than actually understanding it. I hope that makes sense to everybody. Latria, can you have a Quest protein bar for breakfast? Yes, yes, you can. Yes. Okay, let's see. Morgan, okay, awesome. Those are the things I've been a little confused on. Yeah, we'll just ask anytime. And then Donna, how does intermittent fasting work here? Do you have to eat more than one meal a day? Okay, well, intermittent fasting is really kind of cool because you can actually eat 3 meals. And then if you go 12 hours, that's the minimum amount of fasting. If you go 12 hours without eating, and that can be using your overnight sleeping time, you can call that an intermittent fasting day. Now, are there better hours? Yeah, it's better to go 16, and I usually get 16 a night myself because I usually eat my last meal at 4 in the afternoon. It's just the way I do it. And because I don't like to eat at night because I have found that when I eat at night, it makes me hot. I sleep sweaty and all kinds of stuff like that. So, so I usually get about 16 hours. But at the minimum, if you have a perfect day and have gone 12 hours without eating, that's considered a intermittent fasting day. So you actually still can get 3 meals in, Donna. Brenda, is the high protein hot chocolate a certain brand? I saw this on Travis's starter list. Yes, it is. It is the Health-Wise high protein hot chocolate. We sell it. It is sold in our store or our online store. And let's see, Jeep Girl 82. What's something I can pair with a peanut butter sandwich? So sometimes people put a chips next to it. I mean, you could put, let's see. Yeah, you can actually put the Health-Wise chips with it. You can put Health-Wise chips with any sandwich that does not include a category 3 or 5. So you could put it with that. You could, I don't know what else you could put with it. Jeep Girl. I actually do not eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Not that I don't like them. I just never think to make one. Donna, we don't actually do calories. Okay. But I'm going to give you a tip. I never talk calories on this webinar, but since you're asking, I will tell you. You should take your goal weight, multiply it times 8, and you should not have more than that calories in a day, Donna, in weight loss mode. Once you get to maintenance, we would take your goal weight, multiply it times 10, and you wouldn't want more than that in a day. But keep in mind that calories is not the end all be all. No matter what, we've got to use our portion control and we have to eat in the right combinations. That's the most important thing. Okay, Heather, I love fruit. Are we going to do a good? Yes, I'm actually going to get there. Jeep Girl, could I have celery stalks with peanut butter? Yes, you could, because category 2 is celery. The approved bread would be a category 2. The peanut butter would be a category 6, and then your jelly would be the condiment. That would really be a 6 and 2 meal. You'd basically be having 2 2s. That works, Jeep Girl. And Morgan says that she uses cucumbers. Yeah, that would be great. Okay, so right here in category 3, if you're eating onions and tomatoes that are making up a quarter of a cup of energy carb, you got to call it an energy carb. But if you are having a thin slice of tomato or a thin slice of onion, you could call that a condiment actually. But if you're having enough that equals a quarter cup, you got to call it an energy carb, all right? So when you eat an energy carb, You must eat it with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. So let's just say that you've got some butter beans and you're going to do about 1/4 of a cup. They're going to sit about right there. Okay. Then you must eat it with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. So let's just say you have a 96% lean ground beef hamburger patty right there. And let's just say that you have some squash right there. Okay. The butter beans are going to elevate your blood sugar. Your pancreas is going to secrete insulin. You know now I must eat in a way that controls insulin. So the lean protein in that hamburger, that 96% lean ground hamburger patty, and the fiber in the squash are going to neutralize the insulin release that came out because of the butter beans. And you had an insulin controlling meal. And that's exciting to be able to do. Okay, now we're going to scroll down. Now you'll notice there's no oils listed here because this brings an insulin release. And remember, we call insulin the fat bus. It goes around and picks up fats. So we're not going to have oils with that. Now this is where I would use 0-calorie cooking spray for sure. Now we have a new category, fruit. So I'm actually just going to read off. All fruit is in fruit. When you are in weight loss mode, fruit must be combined with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. Once you get to maintenance, you can have, no, Donna, we don't want you to be the fat bus driver anymore. My friend Patty Bass, she said, I rode the fat bus way too long. I'm getting off that thing. So, but fruit, once you get to maintenance, can be eaten by itself as a snack. If you wanted it to be your snack for the day, Heather, you could do that once you get to maintenance. But in weight loss, we have got to treat fruit a certain way so that we can get our results, all right? Because fruit, although it's good for you, still has fructose in it, which is a natural sugar. It still elevates your blood sugar. Your pancreas still secretes insulin. All right. So while we are in the nutritional situation where we've got excess body fat that we want to get off, we've got to treat it properly. Fruit must be combined with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. Now, I'm going to read the first 4 fruits listed here: berries, apples, oranges, grapefruit. Those are actually the lowest glycemic index fruits. They have the lowest amount of sugar in them, but we still need to treat them properly. So let's say that you wanted to have a cup of berries. Maybe you get some Greek plain yogurt and some hemp flakes and you make a little parfait. That's a very popular thing to do. Maybe you want a small or medium orange. Well, how about making an egg white spinach omelet? Maybe you want to have a brown bag lunch and you want to put an apple in it. Well, maybe take some turkey breast deli meat, take some Olay Extreme Wellness high fiber tortilla, put a little Laughing Cow cheese in there as a condiment, like your spread. You could even put some lettuce or spinach in that wrap too, and then your apple would be there, and then that would give you an apple. Now, you know, y'all heard the apple a day will keep the doctor away. Well, I always laugh and say, it only keeps the doctor away if you don't have excess fat to lose. If you got excess fat to lose, we got to get that off first. That's what's going to keep the doctor away. And after that's gone, then we can teach you how to eat an apple a day to keep the doctor away. Let's see, Rita says, so if I ate watermelon, I'd need to combine it with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. Correct. Correct. That's the only way that you would be able to make it a perfect day. Also, when you're eating your favorites, like if you say you like watermelon, you need to look up in the food library, like the proper amount for watermelon. Okay. Because it's not like, see, I've seen my friends that have done other things, like show me these big giant bowls of watermelon they're eating and going, it's 0 points. And I'm like, but no, that watermelon's one of the sweetest and sugarest, you know, or fructosey. I'm making up words tonight, but it's going to bring an insulin release, and they're just bringing an insulin release. So if later on in the day, because I'm just using these points as an example, because their points allow you to eat something. If you brought the fat bus out because of watermelon and then you eat some whole eggs, boom, you got fat storage. It doesn't even look like it, but you do. That's what happens. Let's see, Brenda, I've had 12 perfect days. Awesome. Congratulations. Taking a quick getaway to Charleston and don't want to completely blow it. Any tips while traveling? So yes, take some meal replacements that you like. And when you're eating out at restaurants, obviously, you want to do a category 4 with a category 2. Never get sauces on your food. Most of the time you don't want it at all, but you can look and see. But if you just, I'll sometimes just take the little fork, I'll just stick the fork in like something, and then I'll put it on pick up a piece of chicken or some lettuce, and then I'll still get the taste without it being swallowed up in it. Latria, fat-free peanut butter. I don't know. Is there such a thing? I don't know. Let's see. Rita, so Heather, so I can eat chicken, okay, chicken breast, and I always just do that at Clarify, because if it were dark meat chicken or chicken with meat, you would not eat that with blueberries. But chicken breast, squash, and blueberries, totally fine, Heather, totally fine. Yep. And you're going to notice there's no oils here, okay, because you don't want the insulin release that comes from the fruit to capture the oils. Yes, awesome, Heather, good. Okay, we're going to come down here, and y'all have had amazing and awesome questions tonight. I am running a little long. If you can give me 5 more minutes, maybe 10, I'll go over the rest of this, and you're going to want to know it. So hang around with me, okay? All right, category 2, breads. First of all, even though we have breads on the lifestyle, less bread is best. But I try to, if I'm going to do bread, I try to do it at breakfast or at lunch. I try not to do it at dinner, because water will attach itself to carbs, even the best kind of carbs, and it doesn't give you the results that you want on the scale. But we've got to learn in this lifestyle not to let that scale affect our mood. If you let the scale affect your mood, it won't be long before you're eating food. All right. So that scale is not the end all be all of how good we're doing for ourselves. What you really want to use is the timing chart. And we're going to use that. That's a non-scale visual as to how good you are doing. And we're going to go over that tomorrow night. Okay. But less bread is best. You do not want more than 100 calories of bread in a meal. But you could use the La Tortilla Factory 50-calorie tortilla, the Olay Extreme Wellness high fiber tortilla, Healthy Life bread, Brand Crisp bread, Healthy Life hot dog buns, Thomas Light English muffins, the 100-calorie ones. So all of that works. Plus, there's over 60 approved breads or bread type items in the food library. And when you go to the food library, you can literally just click breads and it'll take you just to breads. And then tomorrow night, we're going to be talking about the weight loss meter. It's another way to categorize food. Okay, Latria, can you have steamed squash, red potatoes, green beans, onion, and broccoli with light Italian dressing? Okay, so no, you cannot. You don't have a lean protein with that. Okay, so steamed squash is a category 2. Red potatoes are a category 3. Green beans is a category 2. Onion is a category 3. Broccoli is a category 2. So in this case, you've got 3 category 2s, which really isn't a problem if it all fits underneath your hands, but all of that's probably not going to fit with potatoes. The onion would need to be like a smidge. The light Italian dressing, you want to make sure that it's an approved one, but you need a lean protein with that. If you wanted to do that with a lean protein, that onion needs to be condiment amount. The light Italian dressing needs to be approved. You don't want to use more than 50 calories of that. You actually could do that if you added a lean protein, Latria. You got to have a lean protein with that, because your red potatoes, and depending on that onion amount, you don't have any protein to offset the insulin release that's going to come from that. And you got to have the protein and the fiber to offset the insulin release. Great question. Thank you for letting me go that route. Okay, approved sweeteners. So these are really to your preference, but any 0-calorie sweetener works. whether it's a natural one or whether it's Splendor or something like that. It's up to you. I kind of do. I use a variety of things, y'all. Xylitol is what I use in my hot coffee. I don't drink coffee, tea. My hot tea in the morning. Monk fruit is what I carry in my purse. So I got my purse here, and look, I got this. This is organic monk fruit. That's what I carry in my purse. And so when I go to restaurants, I order an unsweet tea. I sweeten it with that. If by chance I've run out of that, I'll use a packet of Splenda every once in a while. It's no big deal. And then I have used in the past the stevia and monk fruit sweetener. And I have Swerve approved sweetener for brown sugar and powdered sugar in my pantry as well, in case I want to make a recipe that calls for that. But any 0-calorie sweetener works. Okay, beverages. Nothing takes the place of your water. You've got to get in at least 64 ounces of water every single day, shooting for a gallon. And then you've got 0-calorie beverages. Any 0-calorie beverage works. It just doesn't take the place of your water. So what I do is I focus on getting water in at home. If I'm out at a restaurant, I will do an unsweet tea, or if they've got a diet drink that I like, I might do a diet drink. If you're at Chick-fil-A, though, keep in mind that diet lemonade is considered an extra because it is not calorie free. The small diet lemonade at Chick-fil-A has 50 calories in it. And then if I'm at home at night, I might do a 0-calorie beverage with a little bit of apple cider vinegar in it, because apple cider vinegar is also good for helping regulate your blood sugar. And that's one of the things that we wanted to do. Donna, it does not. Donna is asking, does herbal tea count towards your water? It does not. The only thing that counts towards your water is clean, clear water. Angel says, how much sugar-free Jello can you have? As much as you want, because it's actually a freebie. It's actually a freebie. But keep in mind that we are trying to stop grazing. Use it if you need to, but we've got to, work ourselves out of grazing. And I can't see what else you wrote because it says see more, and I can't reach up that far, Angel. So I don't know what your other part of the question was. You can have unsweet or approved tea. You can have coffee with up to 15 calories of approved sweetener. Now, cheese. Any fat-free, you're welcome. Any fat-free cheese works fine. It's actually a condiment and a category 1 lean protein. If you want to make grilled cheese, do you know that grilled cheese is either a 1 and a 2 or a 4 and a 2? Because depending on which one of these cheeses that you use, it is a category 1 or a category 4. Any of the fat-free cheeses are a category 1 lean protein. This Cabot extra light cheese right here is a category 4 protein plus fat. And then you choose a category 2 bread if you've got grilled cheese. You can use ghee butter if you want to. I actually use, I can't believe it's not butter spray. I think it does a better job when I'm grilling up my griddle. What I do is I cook a grilled cheese on a griddle. I lay the bread out with a little bit of, I can't believe it's not butter spray on both sides, and I start it heating up. I put 1 slice of Borden fat-free cheese on each side, and then I take like 2 slices of deli meat, the turkey breast deli meat, because I like turkey breast deli meat, and I put it on each side too, and I just let that all heat up, and then I flip it over like that, and I let the meat heat up, and then I put it together, and I have a grilled turkey and cheese sandwich. And let's see, do they make fat-free mozzarella cheese? I can't find it. I think they do. Yeah, I think they do. I don't know where to find it, Heather. I find stuff like that at Publix and Walmart quite a bit. Ingles is also a great store to try to buy things in. Now, this milk stuff is very important for y'all to understand, very important. So we've got our lean protein milk, 8 up to 16 ounces. You can use fat-free Fairlife milk and Kroger Cardmaster milk. Why are these so important? They are fat-free and they have lots and lots of protein. They're also lactose-free too, which is kind of cool. But many times people are eating milk with cereal. Even the best cereal is starchy. Even the best is starchy. And you got to have something to offset this. Now, there's a couple of cereals that are approved that if you're an unsweetened almond drink milk unsweetened almond milk drinker or a soy milk drinker, there's some approved cereals. We call them phase 1 cereals. Please don't get confused with anybody saying phase 1 or phase 2. Phase 1 is really the best food. Phase 2 is just really us opening up more variety to you. It doesn't mean that the food's becoming a better quality. Okay. It just means that you have more options with cereal. But we're going from the best cereal to things like Captain Crunch and Cocoa Puffs, okay? Reese Puffs. You got to know inherently that's not the best. It's just made the list because we've done the math and it'll work, but only if you eat it with one of these milks, okay? So you got to know when something says it's phase 2, doesn't mean that you've excelled. It just means that you have got more variety to you added to you. So that's where you'll find phase 2 soups, and you'll find phase 2 frozen meals. Let's see. Becky, unsweetened almond milk works fine. It's a category 4 protein plus fat. So you would want to use it as a protein plus fat. So you would not eat that with any cereals that were not a phase 1 cereal. It needs to be unsweetened. And you would not eat it with any protein. I mean, you wouldn't eat it with any energy, carbs, fruit, or superfoods either. Okay, breadings and flours. And look, we're done, y'all. We're done. I'm not going over restaurants because I do that later on in the week, I think on Wednesday night. Okay, breadings and flours. Coconut flour, carb quick flour, Bob Red Mill's TVP, which is a textured vegetable protein. Rachel, that is good for you right there. And almond flour. So all of these are a category 2. I think this TVP, let's see, may even be a category 1 and 2. Let's see. Oh, it takes me to the store. Okay, I was wanting it to take me to the food library, but anyway, so these are all category 2. If you like Bisquick, that's what Carb Quick is your void replacement for. That's what your simple swap is. Do not use the recipes on the Carb Quick box. They did not take into account Shibboleth rules when they put those on there. Okay, so you want to make sure that you use the recipes in the Shibboleth recipe library. All right. But you can take these things. There's even a cornbread called Perfect Cornbread that you can make with a couple of these. I'm not sure which one all it needs. And then I've made with that Carb Quick, I've made blueberry muffins, I've made biscuits, I've made pancakes, I've breaded okra with it, I've breaded chicken breast with it, all kinds of stuff. Now we're talking cereal real quick. These are some phase 1 cereals. Now, we're going to talk a lot more about cereals tomorrow night when we go through the food library. But phase 1 cereals actually can be eaten with unsweetened almond milk, a quarter, I think a quarter cup. It's not like, you don't want to really pour it on too much. But if you're having a phase 2 cereal, you got to have one of these lean proteins milks with it. Okay, let's see. Latria. So a cheese can be eaten with what is said in the steamed vegetable. So a cheese can be ate with what in? So you could use cheese as a condiment, but you can use cheese as a condiment. Tammy, I have 1 cup of almond milk unsweetened with iced coffee for a snack. 1 cup of almond milk is a lot, Tammy. Let's see. I'll come back to that question. Let's see. Jeanette, did I hear you correct? We can view this slide under lap 2. Yes. And Julia, any gluten-free, non-tree nut flour breadings? I don't know, Julia. I don't know. What I would do, let me show y'all this. I'm going to come back over here to the food library and we're going to look up, the website. And if y'all want to hang out with me, I'm going to answer these questions. We're going to go to the approved food library and I'm going to type in almond milk because almond milk, a whole cup of almond milk sounds like a lot to me, but I don't know because I used to use almond milk a long time ago and then I quit using it, so I haven't looked it up in a while. Okay, almond milk, any brand. Now I prefer that y'all use unsweetened myself, but because look, this is a 1 on the weight loss meter. The unsweetened is a 0 on the weight loss meter. And there's the Blue Diamond unsweetened. That's what I used to use. But anyway, okay. It's a protein plus fat. So Tammy, this is a protein plus fat. It's a condiment and it's a perfect pairing item. And we've got it listed under milk. It says see description for details. Let's come down here. Unsweetened almond milk is mostly fat and counts as a perfect pairing when 1/4 cup is paired with phase 1 cereals. It can be used as a category 4 milk, or it can be used as a condiment since you can use up to 50 calories as a condiment. Keep in mind that the total meal servings must not go over 50 calories. Unsweetened almond milk is not a category 1 milk, so it cannot be used in place of Kroger, Carb Master, or Fat-Free Fairlife. Calories from fat 25. Is your coffee like not sweetened? Because otherwise, Tammy, what I would like for you to do is I would like for you to ask that on the Shibboleth Fixed It Facebook group, because Kim Shibboleth monitors that and she'll let you know for sure. I think it's probably be okay. I think it'd probably be okay, but let her tell you. Ask that on the Shibboleth Fixed It Facebook group. Kim monitors that. Okay. And then Julia, let's see. Okay, I'm going to click on flour and breading. Now, y'all watch what I'm doing to help Julia with the gluten-free, because this is what y'all might want to do if you have other concerns. So see how I've got my heading up here of flour / breading? Awesome, Tammy. And let's click gluten-free. We're going to see all those disappear, aren't we? Aren't we, Julia? Okay, so here are your choices. I know it did get small, but look, it didn't get too small, but that's kind of like pork rinds and stuff like that, which you can use as breadings. So there's a pretty good list for you right there. Here, Julia, I pasted that in the thing. You can click on it and have that. There's coconut flour. It's gluten-free. It says that oh, you don't use that because it's cross-contaminated. So anyway, you just want to check out these for that kind of stuff. But yeah, there's some Hodgson Mill soy flour, coconut flour, almond flour. These almond flour, coconut flour, and some other flours like that, that's what makes up that perfect cornbread, the perfect cornbread thing. That's a recipe in the recipe library. But y'all, these filters are really cool. And there's the vegetarian filter if Rachel is still with us. So y'all have asked amazing questions tonight. And I just want to thank you so much for all that you asked. It was so much fun. Class did go about 30 minutes longer than this class normally goes, but I loved it. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And tomorrow, oh, good, Rachel. And you're welcome, Becky. You're welcome. Tomorrow night, we are going to be digging into the food library and going over the timing chart and how you use that as your non-scale visual as to whether or not you're doing your very best, and you don't let that that scale lie to you daily. If Heather, I would try to do them in order. So Heather, what I would try to do is I would try to watch last night's, maybe tomorrow, and then come back tomorrow night for the third, and I would try to do them in order. Yes, they kind of build on each other. You could do them without them being in order, but it's preferable that you do them in order. What's even more preferable is that you methodically work through every step in each lap of Fast Track, because when you print a document and you actually read the document, I'm sorry I have to say that, but there's a lot of skimmers out there. And skimmers don't become slimmers, okay? So let's not skim. You need to read the word welcome, and at the very bottom, you should read Sasha Renee Martin updated this on 2021. Now I'm being facetious, but read it. Okay. You got to read the whole thing. Awesome, Brenda. I'm glad that you did. I've thought about you over the weekend. You're so sweet. You're welcome, Heather. You're welcome, Rita. I'm glad you learned so much. And Morgan, with the turkey grilled cheese you talked about, do you have a side or just a sandwich? Okay. So really I don't need a side, but I typically do. So I typically have the Health Wise chips. That's what I eat with it, but I don't really need it. It's filling. It's filling. But we all want to get as much as we can, right? But if we can get over that, it would be so much better. It would be so much better. Marinating is fine. I would try to look up some of the what else? Marinating is usually fine, Morgan. I haven't heard anything that you can't marinate. And Heather, yeah, all of them are at 7:30 Eastern Daylight Time. Okay, thank you, Rita. You're welcome, Morgan. Yeah, 7:30 Eastern Time. Awesome. Y'all have been wonderful. Okay, Heather, I'm on day 8. I've been using most of your recipes so far. Awesome. Good. Good. That's wonderful. Okay, well, y'all join me though diligently for every night this week. Can you have sugar-free jello with a meal? Okay, so Latria, if you can. I would use that as a side though, but you can't use it as it's really a nothing. Sugar-free jello is really just nothing. It's a gelatin that's been artificially sweetened. So I would still make sure that like if I were eating it with a sandwich, I'd make sure my sandwich met all of the requirements, and then I would have a sugar-free jello. Yeah, you can. But make sure the rest of your meal meets that. And also, if you're eating it with a meal, I would say that needs to fit underneath your hands, not have it in addition to everything that you eat that goes underneath your hands. Okay. Now, I say that, and you might be technically thinking, yeah, but sugar-free jello is a freebie. I can have a freebie whenever I want. You can, but we're trying to stop our stomachs from being so stretched out. And I know you might think that'll just turn into jelly and go away. Yeah, but still, we're trying to create better habits. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Well, I hope some of y'all join me for the Shibby Show in the morning around 7:30. Can you put some fat-free Cool Whip on Jello? Yes. On the sugar-free Jello. You can do that, Morgan. Mm-hmm. Yep. You're welcome, Katinka. You're welcome. I mean, everybody asked such great questions tonight that this was actually an even better webinar than I normally do, because people are normally pretty quiet and I just do my thing. But y'all have asked so many good questions. And again, I thank y'all. Thank y'all all. And let's just keep doing this together forever, because that's what it's going to take. I wanted to find that little book. I've been reading a little bit on diabetes and pre-diabetes, and I'm thinking, man, do you know how many people have that in this country? It is so sad. And 90% of the people who are pre-diabetic don't even know it. A lady in my Bible school, my Wednesday night Bible study class, just died this morning of a diabetic coma. Oh, thank you, Donna. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, well, I will see y'all hopefully in the morning for the Shibby Show, and then tomorrow night at 7:30 when we go over the food library. And if y'all can try to get lap 1 and 2 done before then, that'd be awesome. Bye, everybody.